How are you all doing? Great. Okay, so welcome to Swiflearn online classes. As you already know that the Swiflearn is the India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10. Over here, all the classes are 100% live and interactive classes. So if you have any sort of doubt, you can ask to the teacher in the classes only, and the teacher will explain everything in these classes. Now we give the personalized attention to each and every student क्योंकि हमारे students maximum 6 रहता है in each of the classes, which will help you to ask any sort of doubt without any hesitation. Thirdly, we have a very good dedicated academic mentor team who continuously track how you are progressing, and according to that you will get the feedback. This feedback will definitely help you to improve yourself. And coming to the fourth thing, that is we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. If you have any topic which is coming in your school exam, so we will do those first and then we will move on to the rest of the topic. So you have to just request us. We will do that. Okay. So this type of custom request generally we handle. Now let us see why the Swiflearn is different from any other platform. First of all, we maintain the detailed progress report of each and every student. So with the progress report जैसे आपके PTM होता है स्कूल में इधर भी PTM होगा and your parents can interact with us directly in the classes. Secondly, we have the Swiflearn Academic Test Series. In short, we call it as SATs, which happen in every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can perform over there, and your name and the rank will be given on the reader board. Now, coming to the third and the fourth thing, that is we have a lot of different unlimited practice tests. So just after doing the topics and revising it from the textbook or the notes of Swiflearn, what you have to do is you have to solve the question answers. So both objective and subjective tests are there. So solve the question answer so that your concepts will be fully complete. Okay, it will be fully done. And for the subjective test, I should mention that generally you lose the marks over here. So you can write the answer, you can upload the diagram, whatever you have drawn, and submit it to us. We will check your answer and we will give you the tips and tricks how to write the answer, so that you will never lose any marks in the subjective answer also. Okay, so to experience all these things, you have to book the free trial class. All the trial classes are free of cost. Book it anytime whenever you are free, and then enroll your name in our regular batches so that we can meet every alternate days in our regular batches. Now, see over here. Let us start with the new topic. And before going to the topic, let me remind all of you, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions, and you can stay with us. You can ask your doubt in the chat box, and do not forget to like, comment and share also. So, this is the third session of the chapter disease, cause and control. So, we have already done a lot of different types of disease in the previous sessions. So, in the previous session, let us recall that what we have already studied. We have studied about what is disease, what do you mean by health, a proper health or not, and we have also studied about the different diseases which are caused by protozoa and bacteria. But in today's session, we are going to discuss about the different diseases which are caused by the different worms, right? So the different parasitic worms, how they are present within our body or how they come in contact with us and they cause the different types of diseases. And also what are the preventive measures we should take to avoid these types of diseases. And then we will study about the viruses and the different diseases which are caused by the various viruses. Okay. So let's start with the parasitic worm. So there are the different types of worms. If you think about the different worms which can come in contact with our body, I will say like the roundworm, tapeworm, and filarial worm. Okay, so we will study about all these three types of worms and what are the different types of diseases which are caused by these types of worms. Before that, let us know about them a little bit with the help of a video.
Thinking like a parasite. I'm a parasite. I need food and shelter, and somewhere warm perhaps. And I don't want to go and find food. I'd like it to come to me. So I'm going to live inside another organism. I need a host. I could travel in the water, sneak into your glass of juice. Or maybe in food. Gobble me up and I can get inside you. Or perhaps I could just wait until one host touches another. I'm the champion of causing water and foodborne illness. I'm only tiny, so nobody'll see me. In fact, some of us are just single-celled organisms, although you might spot one of the worms. Ooh, a human. They can be a great host for parasites, like viruses or worms. I also like animals too. I can go from human to animal, animal to human, whatever comes my way. Hosts provide somewhere for us parasites to live, grow, and reproduce. But sorry, we do cause harm. We secrete toxins. And yes, we are sneaky. We don't want you to get rid of us, so we'll fight your immune system. But don't worry, we shouldn't kill you. Then I'd have no food. Sometimes you can hardly tell I'm here, but I guess sometimes parasites cause a lot of nasty symptoms. If you're lucky, you won't be a permanent host. Some of us parasites use different humans and animals throughout our developmental stages. I might even pop out when you're in the loo. Let's snuggle down into those tissues and organs. I like to be in the gastrointestinal tracts, but other parasites float around in the blood, like malarial parasites. Ooh, vitamins. I'll take those. And some amino acids too. No wonder I make you feel poorly. Sorry to harm you. I'm benefiting at your expense, but that's what parasites do. Whilst I'm here, I need to reproduce. Live, grow, and multiply. That's what I say. I always reproduce at a much faster rate than my host. Anyway, host, thanks for my food, water, heat, habitat, and impending transmission. I'm off.
Okay, so from here we have already got an idea about what are the parasites, and all the worms which we are going to study in today's session are the different parasites. Means they grow, reproduce within the host's body. Okay, and this host can be any of the animals or even the human being. So let's start with the roundworms first. So have you ever like feel like cold or cough sometimes? So you generally think that you were having some cough and cold and some flu sort of thing, right? But it can be a potential sign or a potential symptom of ascariasis. So what is ascariasis? This is a disease which is caused by roundworms. The scientific name of the roundworm is ascaris, or generally it is ascaris lumbricoides. That is a species name, and this is a common roundworm which are found within our intestine. Okay, so let us see how we come in contact with them. So, generally, when we are eating something, we can have the eggs, the very small microscopic eggs of the worm. Uh, through the contaminated food and drinks. Okay, so we will not know about the worms that it is getting inside our body, and we will eat it. So further, when they will get all the different types of nutritions within our body, they will just grow, and sometimes they can go to the lungs, and when they will move to the lung, they will produce this coughing symptom. Okay, and again from the lung they can again come back to the intestine, and this is their main best home for staying and having the food, taking the nutrition from our body. So the adult worms are generally present within our intestine, and they eat the food whatever we eat it, and grow and multiply, and then attack or then produce the different types of toxins which causes this disease, that is the ascariasis. Okay, now see, the different types of flies can also go and sit on the dustbins and carry these types of eggs, and when they come and sit on our food, unknowingly they will bring those eggs of the roundworm, and it will contaminate our food, and when we will eat the same food we will have this disease. Okay, so let us see what are the symptoms of this disease. The first one is the fever. Fever is a very common symptom of different types of diseases, right? So the fever, the shortness of the breath, the malnutrition, abdominal swelling, and the diarrhea. Always remember that whenever any disease is happening, or like any germs are going through the mouth and going to our digestive system, so they will first attack our digestive system, and the different types of symptoms will include the diarrhea. Okay, now these are, it is seen that the children are most affected by this type of infection, and mostly like 0.8 to 1.2 billion people globally are infected by this ascariasis, and most of this is found in Africa and Asia, the sub-Saharan portion of Africa and Asia. So, how to prevent all these things? First is you have to maintain a proper sanitation, cleanliness, hygiene in your home as well as in your locality, so that the different types of germs cannot be sprayed by the various types of vectors like the mosquitoes, houseflies, and all. Okay. Secondly, before eating the food, you have to wash the fruits and vegetable properly, and in case of the vegetables, cook it properly. Don't just eat it raw all the time. And even if you are eating the raw vegetables, like sometimes you with the tomato and all, so please do wash it properly. Other than otherwise, like the different types of germs can get inside it, and it will get inside our body, and we will get these types of diseases. Next, the properly functioning and cleaning of the toilets, and like this reduce the possibility of the fly to pick up the different eggs of the roundworm and spread it. And also wash your hand before eating and after going to washroom. This is also very very important. What you how you can prevent it. The similar type of thing also happen in case of the tapeworm. Tapeworm are the flatworm, you already know, and this can also attack us. So they can also get inside our digestive system. How? We will see that. Okay. So generally the type of disease which is caused by the tapeworm is teniasis. We call it as the teniasis or cystodiasis. Okay. So this one survive within our body, and we will act as a host for them. They will get inside our body, they will feed on us the different nutrients which they will get from our body, and they will just multiply over there. Okay. So let us see how it can get inside our body through the similar type of thing, that is the contaminated water and food. So whenever we will not wash the food properly, or we are going for the street foods more, so there is a chance or a tendency to get the different types of diseases like the teniasis or ascariasis more. Okay. So they grow after the host when we ingest the egg, and they get inside our body through the food, water, or even the raw vegetables. And mostly they are found in the skins of pig and cow. So when we eat the undercooked meat of those animals, then also it can get inside our body, and it can like rule inside our body. Right. So the oral medicine is the most common treatment for this one. So let us see first the symptoms, and then we will move on to the prevention and all. So firstly, again, the first symptoms will be the fever. Other than fever, diarrhea, because it is again going through the food, so it is going inside our digestive system. I already told you, whenever it is attacking the digestive system, it will cause the diarrhea, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and all. Then dizziness, inflammation in the intestine. So this is another symptom which is in the extreme cases happen. General weakness, then we will not feel like having the food, altered appetite. These are the different symptoms of the teniasis. So how can we treat them? So anyone who is having this tapeworm within their body need the treatment, proper treatment. And treatment can give a proper effect, like it can be totally cured 95%, we can say. Okay. So oral medication is the most common treatment, and over here these drugs which we take during the if anybody is suffering from the teniasis, these drugs are not absorbed by the digestive system. So they dissolve or attack, and basically they kill the adult worm which are present within our intestine. Okay. Now let's move on to the third type of worm. As I have told you that the third type of worm is the filarial worm, and which causes the filariasis, or we can also call it as the elephantiasis. So these types of worms are very small. We cannot see through the naked eyes. We can see them under the microscope. So the microscopic view is shown over here. You can see that these are basically spread by the mosquitoes, and specifically the Culex mosquito. So we already have an idea that the mosquitoes are of mainly three types: Anopheles, Aedes, and Culex. Just say Anopheles, the female Anopheles mosquito spread the plasmodium, which causes the malaria. So over here we can see that the Culex mosquito spread this filarial worm, and which can cause the filariasis within our body. Now, this filarial worm has their scientific name, their own name, that is the Ucheraria bancrofti, which can be transmitted by the black flies and the culex mosquito, and they appear white and translucent when we will see under the microscope. Their lifespan is 5 to 7 years. So, can you imagine, like 5 to 7 years they can live each of the worm, and that is why they can produce a lot of different, lot of individuals or the offspring. So, they produce millions of larvae in their lifespan, and the size of the female worm will be like 250 to 300 millimeter, and male worms a little bit longer than that of the half as long as that of the female worms. Okay, now let's move on to the symptoms. So the very first symptom is again the fever. So fever is a common symptom for many types of diseases. Then chills, headache, and the skin lesions. Sometimes what happen, you can see here, due to the reproduction of this type of worm within the body, it can cause the elephant like foot. Okay, the foot will swell up like the elephant like foot, and that is why this disease is known as the elephantiasis. Okay, so the skin lesions are very common over here, and between 3 months to 9 months after the biting of the insect, so they can produce their symptoms. So this is their incubation period. Okay, so how can we prevent them? First of all, wear the long sleeves, avoid the mosquito bite and all. Use the different type of mosquito repellents, insect repellents, which are DEET based. Or we can say, like, we can avoid the stagnation of the water around our house or inside our house, any particular region, because these are the most favorite region for the mosquitoes to lay egg. Yeah, and also use the mosquito mats, coils, net if possible, so that you can avoid the mosquitoes to come in contact with you. Okay, now why do you think this is very important, that the germs, how the germs are leaving our body, or how the germs are leaving from a patient's body? We need to know this. Any idea? Yes. So basically, we need to know this because these are the different types of germs which are spread or transmitted through the air, water, and even the direct contact. So if we know that how they are leaving any patient's body, so we can take the precautions for the healthy person, that it will, so that it will not again or further infect the healthy person. So that is why we need to know how they leave from our body, and so that it will not attack anybody else. Okay, now let's move on to the next category, which is the virus, the different diseases which are caused by the viruses. So there is another category, we know that is the diseases which are caused by the viruses. So before going to the diseases, let us see what are the viruses and what are their main characteristic features with the help of a video.
In this video, we're going to look at what viruses are. Viruses are a type of microorganism. They are too small to be seen by the naked eye, much smaller than bacteria, and about 100 times smaller than human cells. They come in many different shapes and are present wherever there are cells to infect. In fact, viruses are the most common biological unit on Earth, outnumbering all other types combined. Viruses can infect humans, all animals, plants, and even bacteria. Viruses are very simple. They are made up of a protein coat surrounding a strand of genetic material. The genetic material can either be DNA or RNA. Sometimes a membrane called an envelope surrounds a virus particle. This envelope isn't made by the virus, but is actually stolen from the membrane of the host cell. This is a great strategy by the virus. It makes it harder for the host cell to identify the virus as foreign. As we just saw, viruses aren't made up of cells. In fact, they aren't really living. They are halfway between a living organism and a chemical. Because they aren't living, we say there are different types of virus rather than saying different species of virus. Some common types of viruses are influenza and HIV or AIDS. So if viruses aren't living, how do they cause illness? Viruses are parasites. They can only reproduce in other living cells. They enter a host cell and hijack the host's genetic machinery. They make copies of their own viral genetic material instead and produce lots more virus particles. After lots of virus particles have been made, the host cell dies and the viral particles are released to infect more cells. The released viral particles can also spread to other people. There are actually two different ways in which virus attacks the host cell, which we will look at in more detail in this video. Viruses cause many human diseases, including colds, influenza, rabies, yellow fever, HIV or AIDS, pneumonia, bird flu, Zika, Ebola, and the cancer-causing HPV. They are just a few examples. Fortunately, the human immune system is very good at dealing with viral invaders. Sometimes our immune system will recognize the virus as an intruder and will destroy the virus before it gains entry into a cell. Even after infection begins, our immune system destroys the virus and the person recovers. Sometimes the immune system cannot destroy the virus fast enough, and the virus can cause permanent damage or death. In 1918, the Spanish flu is thought to have caused up to 50 million deaths worldwide. Scientists have developed vaccinations against lots of viruses, which have even led to the eradication of some viruses like smallpox as human hosts become immune. However, some viruses like HIV have proved impossible to develop any kind of vaccine for. Did you know that antibiotics do not work for viruses? They are only for bacterial infections. If you have a cold or flu, you shouldn't be taking antibiotics. They won't make any difference. There are some antiviral drugs that have been developed, such as the one that dramatically prolongs the life of people affected by HIV. So there we have viruses. They're incredibly simple organisms, but are extremely effective at causing infection.
If you liked the video, give it a
Yeah,
thumbs up.
so already we have got an idea what are the viruses and how can we treat the viruses, right, if we are attacked by it. So these are the different types of microorganisms which are made up of the nucleic acid and the protein, and when they are outside the human being or outside any host's body, they show certain non-living characters. But if they get inside the host body, they show their living characters, like mainly the multiplication. They multiply very fast, right? So the viruses are highly specific and also attack only one type of host, whether it is any human or any other animals. So they generally prefer to attack only one kind of host, and the different types of diseases which are caused by it is AIDS, mumps, influenza, herpes, measles, chickenpox, these. Okay, and you are aware of the COVID-19 virus also. Yes. So here, can you tell me the name of the disease which is caused by the dog bite? Sometimes, yes, if a street dog bites, so that we have to take the different injections. This is nothing but the rabies. Yes, so the rabies are the viral disease. It is one type of viral disease which can spread this type of germs through the dog bite or rabbits or the cat or fox bite. Yeah, so this is caused by the rabies virus, and it generally causes the encephalomyelitis in extreme condition. That is nothing but the inflammation in the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, so they directly attack our nervous system. So this is how they spread, that they spread through the animal's saliva, which are the rabid animals generally we say, and when they get inside our body by the biting or the scratching of the animals, and their incubation period can be 2 months. Means after getting inside our body, maybe after 2 months they will show the first symptom. Okay, and this virus generally infect our central nervous system, which is very 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 dangerous, and they can cause death also, because they are infecting or making the inflammation in our brain as well as the spinal cord. So as soon as any biting of the different types of animals happen, please go to the doctor, take proper treatment before getting any sort of symptoms in your body. Fine. Now let's see what are the different symptoms which we can get after this type of germs get in contact within our body. So again, the first one is the fever. Other than this, you can see like muscle cramp in extreme condition, frequent headache, swelling of the brain and the spinal cord. This is very bad for our health. And feeling nausea, insomnia, anxiety, severe stomach pain. These are the different types of symptoms which are shown like when we are basically attacked by the rabies. Okay. So these are the different preventions we should take, like the vaccination is the very first preventive measure. Second one, the vaccination to the pet dogs or pet cats. If you have pet in your home, so give vaccination to them also so that they will not be the carrier of these types of virus. Then wash your hand with like a hand or any wound with the soap and water so that the good hygiene will be maintained after, even after coming in contact with the stray dogs or something like that, any pets. If you are having the pet, keep them away from any street dogs or the stray dogs so that they cannot uh, like spread this type of germs to them also, and prevent the bats which can wander around your campus or the living places, so they can also spread this type of disease very easily. So these are the preventive measures which we should take. Now let's move on to the next type of disease, that is AIDS, which has no treatment, as you have already seen in the previous video, right? So it is caused by the HIV virus, which is the human immunodeficiency virus, and the name of the disease is AIDS, that is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So here the virus attacks the immune system of the body, and even if you were having a very little infection within your body after like getting this virus, your body will not be able to withstand any minor infection. So this is the life-threatening pneumonia. Cough and cold, like common cold, can turn into life-threatening pneumonia in this case if you have this HIV virus within your body. So it basically damages the whole immune system. So it causes basically through the sexual contact with the infected person, unprotected and unsafe sexes, having many partners, and all. Blood transfusion from the donor to the recipient. If they are not first examine the blood of the donor, then it can happen. It can also go from the mother to the child during pregnancy. So these are the different uh, causes how they are spreading in our community. We can see the unprotected sex working in healthcare, using the similar syringe also, blood donation camp and pregnancy from the mother to the child it can go. So we should avoid the different types of thing like sharing the cutleries, insect bites, toilet seats, and touching all this, right? So these are like normally seen in the drug addicted peoples also, because they share the needles, and through one needle, if anybody is having the same virus, so it can be transmitted to another person, right? From the mother to the growing fetus is also it is possible, because this type of virus has the capacity to just cross the fetus and get inside the baby. So this is also vulnerable, means this is also very dangerous. Now how can we prevent it? First of all, awareness and education should be spread so that we people should take the effective control measure for like preventing these types of diseases. Condoms are the most trusted way to avoid the infection during the sexual contacts. The donor can be screened and tested before giving the blood, donating the blood to a recipient. Then avoid the usage of the drugs, because they use the similar syringe, and disposable needle is very very important, which are used in the hospitals and labs. So whenever you are going for any blood test and all in the hospitals or any clinic, so just be assured that they are using a new syringe, a new needle, okay, for taking your blood. So let's see now some of the question answers, some of the true false over here it is given. So let's solve these things. Okay, so this is all about the different types of diseases which are caused by the worms and the viruses. So my first sentence is the filariasis is transmitted by housefly. Is it true or false? Of course, it is false, because filariasis is transmitted by the Culex mosquitoes. Yes, remember? Now, coming to the next one, malaria is caused by protozoa. True or false? Malaria is caused by the plasmodium. So what is plasmodium? It is one type of protozoa only. So this is true. Yes. Now coming to the third one, BCG vaccine is used for the chicken pox. No, it is used for the tuberculosis, for treating or for preventing the tuberculosis. Yeah. Fourth one is the Louis Pasteur discovered a cure for malaria. So is it true or false? It is again false because Louis Pasteur discovered a cure for rabies. Okay. And the last one, AIDS is caused by bacteria. No, we already know that it is caused by virus, that is the HIV virus. Yes, so these are the answers. You can just check it. And let me give you one fact that the heart disease kill more people per year than any sort of like other diseases like cancer, suicide, or diabetes, respiratory disease, mental disorder, or even terrorism, war, and hunger. Can you imagine? Yes. So let's see what we have already studied in today's session. We have studied about the different diseases which are caused by the parasites, the different worms like the roundworm, tapeworm, and filarial worm. And we have studied about the viral diseases, mainly the AIDS and rabies we have studied. So other than this, the poliovirus and mumps are also there. Okay, so this is all about today's session. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for staying till the end of the session. We will again meet in the next session. So before that, let me again remind you, whoever has not subscribed our channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. And we will again meet in the next session, right? And do not forget to like, comment, and share also. So till then, bye bye. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Bye bye.